All right? And then if anybody will have some questions at the end of the session, will take about an hour, please feel free to ask. I'm going to use my arm, all right, giving a signal to the friends in the booth over there that I want to have the next slide. There's nothing wrong with my arm, all right? In case you wonder, we always speak like that, Jews, but you know, this is specially for the purpose of having the next slide. Shall we begin? All right, number one. Number one, well, here it is. You know the title, and that will be the title. And we can skip to number two and directly to number three because we covered all of that. Speaking about geography, one thing that you absolutely need to understand is that in the land of Israel, and you will see later on why, water means life. And therefore, the Bible is full of examples and parables that speak about water. You would not build a town unless there was a water source, obviously. And since there are not that many water sources in the region, what dictated human history to a large extent was water sources. You need to understand that until the Greek era, we speak about the 2nd or 3rd century BCE, people did not know how to carry water by viaducts and aqueducts. People had to live on the water source. And therefore, if the water source was not rich enough, the towns could not grow. If I'd ask you, how big do you think was the city of David or Jerusalem under King David? Let me remind you that in David's days, the hegemony or the territory of the Hebrews, and this is the right term, not the Jews but the Hebrews, was the largest ever. Now you should ask me a question, how big was the water source? Let me tell you, annual flow of 600,000 cubic meters a year. Unless you're a water engineer, you have no idea what to do with this piece of information. But the point is this, the town could not grow, people could not come and live in places unless there was a water source. That means that what is dictating the history of Israel, and human history generally speaking in this part of the world, is water, but also the road system. Keep that in mind, because until people learn how to carry water from a spring far away, they had to live on the water source. And therefore the water is the most crucial issue, and it's reflected in the Bible so often. Jesus is called living water, because people then knew that the water of cisterns, the water of wells might be poisonous, might not be good for you. Living water was a dream. And we don't have that many such sources in the country. And that's why the Bible speaks so much about living water and about the blessing of rainy season, etc., etc. But before we go deeper in understanding, let's have a word about the orientation. What were the directions that the Bible gives us when it describes the land, for example? Well, unlike today, when we speak about north and south and east and west, that's what the Bible will tell you in the translation to English. But if you had read the Hebrew text, these are not the words that you will find. That means that the translation sometimes